Good morning. Good morning. Okay. I'm Charles. I've been with Zoho for the past 24 years. That's quite some time. And most of the time, I have been working for Zoho Creator. So this is about me. So let's get started. A recent McKinsey report says more than 70% of the digital transformation initiatives, they fail to meet their objectives. This is what the report says. If you really see, right, the organizations, they may start to have, like, different organizations, they have ambitions to start a lot of digital transformation initiatives, but whether it gets completed, so how far it has gone, if you really see, right, not many get completed. You may start a project, but few projects gets completed, but many of them are stuck. And according to me, there are 4 key challenges why these digital transformation really fail in organizations. Number 1 is the overload of IT team. It is something like, say, like a Josh Butler in England cricket team, and say if he is injured or if he's not playing on that day, probably England has a bad day. So the IT team is really, really thinly staffed, and they don't have really the bandwidth for the projects that they need to implement in organizations. So be it like from marketing team or the legal, HR, or the operations. So each and every department come to the IT team and they come and ask for projects, but the IT team is really, really not full of bandwidth. So that is one of the key reasons why digital transformations fail. And next is the legacy system. If I ask you to hold a glass of water, maybe for a minute you can hold, maybe for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, maybe you can hold. For 30 minutes, it'll start to pain, but then you can't be holding it for a day or so. So legacy systems are like that. So you know it is a constraint, you know it's a pain, but then you can't really get rid of it. Maybe you may think like, okay, let me just go on with these systems a little more time until probably it breaks, or like it is, let me push it to the limit. But to be fair, legacy systems are really legacy. It's very, very pain, and they are not modern. So these are some of the reasons why people are not able to move ahead in the digital transformation. And third is, there is a need to integrate, okay? And the systems are so disparate in nature that one system doesn't know the other system. They don't connect well with each other. Your work planning module doesn't connect with, say, like a leave planning module. If somebody is on leave, maybe the leave planning module understands and it has the data, but down there on the shop floor where the work planning has to happen, it'll just keep going on because this data is not transferred to that particular module. And the fourth is the adoption. Maybe with respect to the consumer apps, we are all very digitally savvy, but unfortunately, when it comes to businesses and organizations, employees really resist to adopt the latest modern digital apps. So these are the 4 reasons I would say. So let me take a step back and see what does it take to build a custom application or to create a software or create an application within this thing. Even for a very lean IT team, what does it take to build a custom application? The IT team needs to have skilled workers with, say, like they need to take care of design, they need to take care of security, they need to take care of multiple devices, they need to take care of AI, BA, and whatnot. So it is, on the surface, it may feel very simple, but in order to build a custom applications, it really needs to have, really need to have layers and layers of a lot of technologies and tools that is required to build your custom applications. So this is the reason why we built Creator, to help ease, to empower everyone to easily build powerful applications. So this was a vision that we stated some 20 years back when we started Creator, and this vision stands even today. So any user personas, be it you are a business user or you are a professional developer, Creator is there for you. And you can very easily build applications, and not just a toy or simple prototype of applications. You can build very powerful applications. For example, ITV Studio in the UK, they transformed, they did the digital transformation. They were using a lot of spreadsheets, thousands of spreadsheets to manage their operations. They moved to Creator, where they were efficiently be able to manage their operations. And then there is another customer named Oldershaw of Moulton, who is producing more than 10,000 tons of onions every year. So they are using Creator for managing their entire operations from quality control and whatnot. So how does this happen? What is the core of Creator? So Zoho Creator lets you build application in a visual manner so that like it generates code. So you don't have to write code, but Creator automatically generates code. And this we call it as productivity through abstractions. So what we do is like there are, typically in a software and in a custom application, there are layers and layers of infrastructure, code that needs to be written. There are mostly the boilerplate. By boilerplate, I mean the mundane code that you need to keep writing for every other app. So there are some common things that the developer have to go through, the routine jobs and everything. So all those things are taken care and they're abstracted. And most of the time, the developer spends 90% of the time in writing those code or setting up those infrastructure. So when that is taken care, developers are freed and they just need to write the essential code that is there. So Zoho Creator by design lets the developers write the essential code. And not only that, you build once and it's available on all devices. So you just drag and drop and build. You don't have that in mind that you are building for a web or a certain form factor, but you automatically get it for all the devices. So this is Zoho Creator for you. And a recent IDC research says that all the organizations throughout the world, globally, they will need to build at least 500 million of new custom apps by 2028. This is much more than all the apps combined that was built in the past 40 years, actually. So what could power this? Any guess? I'm sorry? Creator? Oh, no, you're very optimistic. Thank you. Anyone else? AI. That's it, but not actually, okay? So there are a lot of new gen AI coding tools like the likes of Lovable or Replit or whatnot. Like there are a lot of AI agent tools, right? You just give a prompt because today ChatGPT or OpenAI have revolutionized the way how we create things actually. You just give a prompt and tada, an article comes, or anything that you want, it comes, okay? So they are trying to replicate the same thing in the software development as well. It is really good, actually. It does generate a lot of code. It does generate tons and tons of code, and that's where the problem is. Steve Jobs once told, the best line of code is the one you never have to write, actually, okay? The best line of code is the one you never have to write. Because the more number of code it keeps generating, the more the more headache that you're going to have to maintain that code. So there's going to be a huge technical debt and bloat of code. That's number one reason why that's not really seen on the surface. For the initial stages, it's fine. But then as you see, it keeps generating a lot of code and a lot of even unnecessary code, actually. So it's very, very hard to maintain. And second is the governance. By design, all these tools that generate code do not have governance in place. When I say governance, what I mean is, by design, the application should have some governance, the layers of permissions, who should access what, or what are the kinds of data that needs to be accessed. Those things, it is all hidden somewhere, actually. It's not really known. You really do not know, with thousands of lines of code, you really do not know what gets accessed where. So the user permission layer is not very, very clear. It could be hidden in somewhere in some file that is generated. The third and most important is the hidden security vulnerabilities that you may not be aware of, actually. It could generate, but then you will have to validate, review it, and you end up spending a lot of time in those code. So is really AI bad? No, it is not, actually. What could be the answer? It is the combination of AI plus low code. So that's what I call it as responsible AI, actually. So why do I say that? Because we got the best of the both worlds, the low code as well as the AI. Let's see. In the AI world, you got the speed. You prompt, you get something immediately, okay? But when you combine with a low code platform like Creator that has the necessary infrastructure or necessary components built in already, we combine these together. It is not that AI generates a code in terms of, say, some text or something like that. It understands. What we have done is, in Creator, whatever we have built so far in the past 20 years, we have built layers and layers of all the components, all the visual components, all the structures. So on top of that, we slap this AI. So what it does is it understands the context, and it gets the tools, right tools, and then it shows you as an app. And AI can really scale. Okay, you can really scale because the moment you need, it gets this week I have built a feature, next week I want another feature. It can get you new use cases. It can get you new use cases for any kind of requirements that you want. But then when you add it with the agility of low-code platform, that's where the real power is. And next is obviously you could innovate. You could ask AI for any new kind of ideas, maybe that you may not be thinking actually. Maybe you have a limited requirement, but it can come up with a lot of ideas. But then, again, I said it can come up with a lot of ideas, but then if we give it to AI directly, it'll start generating a lot of code. So that's where the AI is there, which has the maintainability by design, actually. And last, AI can also do autonomous things that we have seen, like AI agent, and product like Creator, the low-code platform, it comes with, again, guardrails of permissions and compliance and safety and security. So in short, this is how a traditional development was started probably some 40, 50 years ago, or even before that. So developers would write the code by hand, and it will take a lot of time and effort. But when low-code came, okay, it drastically reduced the time taken to build an application. And when it is AI-led low-code development, now AI does most of the jobs that traditionally you used to do using configuring. So basically what AI does here is that it replaces the configuration that you need to make in the low-code platform like Creator, or the drag and drop and all the things. So you can simply prompt and tell. So that's how powerful when we bring in AI into Creator. So now, the demo time. So I'm going to need a volunteer here. So I'm going to pick a volunteer. What do I say? Okay. Are there anyone who has not used Creator here? One. Okay, I'm looking for you then. Please come onto the stage. Let's welcome the gentleman. You are the rock star today. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark. Hi, Mark. So where are you from?
From my company's personalized oasis.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Perfect. So you are here to showcase, to build an application. So what you have to do is think of a requirement in your business, whatever business or whatever, any business requirement you may think of, and you can just describe the requirement here and type in. So over to the demo screen. Yes. Around here. Just a minute. Yes. You can just describe your requirement. You can take your time, no problem. plant. So maybe, yes. Application to. So you need a plant hire application to manage your inventory. Yeah, perfect. Can click on Start Building. Yeah, let's see what Creator has. So what it does is like we saw yesterday, what Suvish showed in the demo yesterday. So it starts to generate the data model, and let's see what it has generated so far. These are the. Do you think these use cases are pretty fine, like the inventory tracking, rental agreement management? Does it make sense? I don't.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, this is fine. Customer management, plant conditioning monitoring. Are this okay, good enough?
Yeah, that's all good.
Yeah. So let's create this application. You can click on Create Application. Yeah. So what it does is like it starts to generate the components. So the components that's needed for the inventory management, and it starts to generate the forms, the reports where typically you need to configure, start creating inside Creator, right? Then the dashboards, you need to create pages in Creator, and then the application layout. It looks at the type of application and it selects the best application layout that it needs to have. Then it's generating the user permissions that is needed, or there is a role probably it needs, like as a customer for delivery personnel. It understands the application and it starts to generate all the permission set, what kind of role that you need, and it starts to generate the business processes, or there is a need for a rental agreement process, there's a plant return process, it starts generating those things. And we are going to see this in a moment. And it starts to generate workflows as well, notifying the customer on rental completion, weekly maintenance reminder, log, planting, and this is the thing. It also is generating AA agents. A return inspector automatically automates the plant return inspection process by reviewing the return details, and a rental initiator. Okay? Fine. Thank you. Yeah, nice meeting you. Thank you. So what it does here is that it not only generates the components, this is something we have added very, very new here. Okay? It also identifies whether this application would need an AA agent. So you don't have to think even like, oh, I don't know even what agents are. Does this application need an agent or not? You don't have to think about that, because like the AI automatically understands the application and it decides whether this application would need an AI agent, and it configures that AI agent on your behalf automatically without you having to go through those configurations. And not only that, it generates the application on the web, on the mobile, and on the iPad. So let's click on Access this application. And I get inside. So this is the application. This is pretty much good to use. I would say like up to maybe 70–80% of the stuffs are done. You have to do the remaining probably 30%. You have to go and review the application. Is it fine? You have to make some changes here and there. And not only that, I will show you how it is also available on the mobile. We just created, so this is my old view. Let me just refresh it. And I'm able to see the plant hire. So instantly as I create there, it's available on the mobile as well. So I click on the plant hire management, and I'm able to see the same dashboard here as well. So this dashboard automatically is set for this form factor. So if you see, the dashboard is different here, but the same set of data, same set of dashboard, it is available in a vertically format that is better suited for the mobile. and you get to see all the modules and so on as well. So let's get back to this application. So I see the plant returns, and it does come with certain data as well, and it comes with some Kanban view, and you can probably select and drag and drop. That's how you can set the statuses. And it also understands that this needs probably a map report, okay? Because it talks about locations and also automatically generates a map report for it. And it does have other modules like rental agreements, and let's just see what are the other reports that it has generated. Another map report. So all these things, so ideally, like if AI was not there, you'll have to think over and think like, okay, what are the different screens, what are the different components that I need to even do actually. That thinking part itself, like, I think AI has taken it away. So you just give a prompt and then you just verify, okay, these are some of the things that I need or some of the things I don't need, and you can just go ahead and use it. And let me go to the IDE part. I go and click on the edit part. I'm editing the application. And so this is the total number of applications that it has generated. Okay, it has even generated workflows, it has generated blueprints, and so on. Let's go and look at one of the workflow. Okay, so it says like, once the return is initiated, submit the return form, and then look for whether it's damaged. If it's damaged, then approve the return. If it's not damaged, then reject the return. So this kind of blueprint also it automatically generates. So that's the power of Creator here. So let me also show you few other things. I have another sample code where I want to show. So say, for example, this is the deluge code that you're seeing, okay? So today in Creator, deluge you can generate deluge code using AI. Okay, let's see how we can interact with the deluge code. And I click on this Zia icon here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this code. So maybe I don't understand this code, what it is. I'm going to ask AI to explain this code. Explain this code. Okay, oh, sorry. Okay, fine. So I got it. So I'm going to drag and drop and replace this with this. So what was actually like this, okay? Now I got a detailed documentation of the code. This very much useful actually, because it says like it fetches the policy details and it checks line by line and it documents. It's very much useful when, say, for example, a developer has left your company, or maybe you yourself do not understand the code that you have written long back. So now you can generate the documentation for the code that's written out there. And not only that, so whatever we have seen is like the creation part. Let me go back to the application, and I can continue to edit this as well. By the way, whatever I'm going to do now is not publicly available. It is still early access. So here we have something called Zia here. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's say like I want to add more fields to the plant return form. So add more fields to plant return form. And it starts to think. And let's see what we have got here. Locating it is located the plant return form, verifying the current field setups, preparing additional field specifications, and let's see what additional fields it has to give. Okay, and it is suggesting few fields, and if you want to apply changes, you can apply. It's saying like, maybe let me add a photo upload field, maybe a signature field to confirm. Okay, I'm going to apply, and let's see like whether it's, oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it's always, okay. Maybe let's try for something else. Maybe I'll say like add another module here. So these are things that are still in development, so I'm just showing a sneak preview of all those things. Module for this app. Let's see what it does. I'm not even saying what module I want to add, and hopefully this works. Could you please specify what kind of module you want to add? For example, what's the purpose and what, add a new module for the, so did we have the inventory? Inventory, yes. Maybe let's ask like for customer feedback. Okay. Yeah, preparing new module specifications, and it's going to get started. Let's wait. Yes, and it shows like, okay, let me apply the changes. Yeah, so changes are applied, and let me refresh it. And there you got the customer feedback. Oh, there are no form fields, okay. But still work in progress, okay? So this is created for you with AI-led. Back to the presentation, please. Yeah. And fine. So this is with respect to the low-code tool that you saw till now. And let me move on to the other developer tools that we have. I'm going to give a brief overview about other tools. So we have something called Catalyst, that is a pro-code cloud computing platform. So Catalyst is something that's a one-stop shop for all, actually. You can build any heavy compute kind of solutions, and it has so many models. The reason why we built Catalyst is that, like, over the years, we have built a lot of frameworks that powers these 55 plus applications in Zoho. So we thought, like, what if we could actually let them out so that like all the customers could benefit out of it? What if we could put them as a services and put it in one platform? So that's why we built Catalyst, and today it has grown up as a platform as a service. You could build anything that you want. So these are the various services that's available in Catalyst. And it is like, it has the auto scaling, and it's very, very, very simple to use, unlike other cloud computing platforms. And it has very, very deep integration with Zoho. It is so native to Zoho. So you can, for example, you can use the grammar correction that we have done in Zoho Writer. The same thing could be used in Catalyst. And you could use a queuing system. Anything that requires a heavy lifting, you can use Catalyst. And let me show what's coming up for Catalyst in 2025. So we are coming up with RAG models where it can automatically, intelligently, what you saw in Creator, right? So similar thing, it's also going to be available in Catalyst. And we also let you host the LLMs in Catalyst. You can bring your own LLM. And another thing, like you would have heard about this Zoho MCP, which lets you to connect any large language model outside there with any of the Zoho apps. So that's also It's available for early access. And we are coming up with prompts that lets you build bespoke UIs. So there are cases where you will need exactly this is how exactly the UI I want. So for that, you may have to go for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So that's where the slate comes into picture. And also, we are coming up with custom runtime where you can bring in any runtime like Java. Today, we support Java and Node.js, but you can bring any stack out there. So this also is going to come very soon. And moving on to next is our Zoho Flow. Okay. Zoho Flow is an integration platform as a service, so it helps to connect data between two services. And today we have more than 1,000 support for more than 1,000 applications, and it has support for both cloud to cloud, cloud to on-prem, and on-prem to on-prem as well. So all the possible combinations it's supported. You can flow the data from one cloud system to another, not necessarily the Zoho apps alone, but you can also bring in any third-party applications for that matter. And we have a session on Zoho Flow in this very hall at 12:15, and my colleague Hari will be presenting about Zoho Flow in detail. And next is Zoho RPA. This is something we have introduced very recently. How many of you are aware of Zoho RPA? Okay, fine. So businesses in general, they use a lot of applications or a lot of things to do, to get things done actually. Maybe because like on one side, there may be cloud, and there could be another system that is on-premises, and it could be with different vendors. One data from one system could go to another system which is used by another vendor. And it need not be even, say, like a software. It could be even on a paper, or it could be even an Excel, or it could be even on a legacy system. And all these processes are lying very, very in a disparate way, actually. So say, for example, you may be having a ERP system which doesn't allow you to take the data out, or it doesn't have any APIs in it. So what you do is like you export the data that you need, and then you put it on the Excel, and then you bring in another data from another system, and you consolidate that data in an Excel, you track it, and then you copy some of the data, and then put it in another Windows application, and then you do some transformation over there, and then you put it back to ERP, okay? Can you imagine if there is I don't think there is any API that can solve all these things actually, right? So this is where RPA comes into picture. So what it does is like it consolidates all the data. It comes with a recorder, basically. It comes with a recorder, and it records whatever things that you are doing on the job, because it may not have API, but it simply visually records on the screen, and it simply repeats the task based on the criteria or condition that you give. So RPA is the robotic process automation that it automates a high volume repetitive task. So it's really useful when you're dealing with multiple types of systems that doesn't have API. That's what RPA is for. And we have it available already in the EU data center as well. And next is the Zoho QEngine. It's a unified test automation platform, and that helps you maintain all your testing framework, be it manual or automation, or basically the automation kind of testing or the manual testing. It supports both. And you write once, and it automatically, like similar to how you create applications in Creator once, and then it automatically generates the web and mobile application. QEngine, you write the test case once, and it automatically generates the test cases both for the web or the Android, iOS, and also for the APIs. And it helps maintain the test suite across your testing lifecycle. So these are the different tools that is used in QEngine. So you could create test cases. And again, like we are coming up with prompt-based test cases where you can give prompts, and it will help you generate the test cases as well. And to summarize, so this is the developer tools that I'm talking about. The first we saw about Creator, that is AI-led, low-code application platform that helps you build custom web and mobile application. Next is a Catalyst, that's a pro-code cloud computing platform that does the heavy lifting. And Zoho Flow, that's an integration platform as a service that helps you connect data from multiple systems. And the RPA, that's the robotic process automation that helps you to automate mundane, repetitive tasks. And finally, the QEngine, that is the unified test automation platform for all your developer needs. Thank you. And next we have, maybe I have some time or, yeah. Next we have Rakib from Zoho Workplace. So he is the head of market strategy in Zoho Workplace, and he is going to take the stage.